Ready, lads?
Well, Paul, into the second round of the Women's FA Cup matches the run from 7 years ago. You must be delighted.
Yeah, I am delighted, Andrew. I said earlier on today that the Women's FA Cup in the women's arena is probably the most famous tournament, the biggest tournament probably around the world, certainly for the English football. So delighted to be in the second round. I mean, all credit to Queen's Park Rangers girls, their development side today. I thought it was a good young side, a lot of talent in that side. Worked their socks off and kept going for 90 minutes. So credit to their club.
And for both teams, of course, the pitch was a great leveller, and it made, particularly in that the latter period of the first half when the rain was torrential, it made for football quite difficult to play.
Yeah, I thought people were going to get their paddles out at one point because it really came down for a period of about 20 minutes. But credit to Oakwood. We had a lot of rain last night, and they worked very hard to get the game on today. So that's the sort of credit to them. But as you said, Andrew, there was a period of about 20 minutes where it absolutely tipped it down, which did make it difficult for the ladies. Made the surface quite tricky, quite treacherous. But fortunately that held off a little bit, and we managed to get the game played out at one point. I thought that may have been in doubt.
You made a few changes for this one. Obviously, a game against, you mentioned that they were a very good side, but a game obviously against lower division opposition, a chance to give run-outs to a few players. Kay Webber particularly, obviously, starting a game, and she took her goal, although there was a bit of fortuitousness about it. She was in the right place at the right time every time. Yeah,
that's the thing we've spoken about with Kay, which is when she's playing as the out-and-out number 9, is first of all to use that physicality that she's got, use that ability that she's got to hold that ball, but also to work that last line as we expect her to do as the number 9. I think it was her actual physicality that paid off and got that first goal. But I thought personally she had a very, very good 90 minutes. She's one of our top young players. She's getting better and better and better, and I'm delighted with her.
And a word obviously about Emma Pleur, being named the Thales Player of the Match. Got herself a hat-trick. She was a threat throughout.
Well, Emma's pedigree is well known. I think the hat trick that she got, she's pleased with. I think as a manager, we're just as pleased with really the assists that she was involved with and what she created down that left hand side. We slipped her a couple of times there, but predominantly she worked that left flank, and I think if we'd have been a bit more clinical in front of goal, we may have had a couple more from what was a couple of superb 20-25 yard runs from Emma. I mean, she had a super game today, but she's a quality player.
And a couple of final questions on the players. Firstly, Megan Stowe obviously got another blinder of a strike, and she did well in that midfield. But you also brought a couple of players into the back line with Abby Measures and giving a chance at centre back for Charlie Carter, and obviously behind them young Lauren Graves, who did well.
Yeah, well, let's start with young Lauren. I mean, she's been backing up Frankie now for a good part of the season, travelling with us literally all over the place, not getting on. Frankie was struggling a little bit with her knee today, so it was an opportunity to start Lauren and trust her. She's a quality young keeper, so we had no hesitation, and she clipped a clean sheet as part of a sort of back 5 or back 4 actually for most of the second half. Abby came in as well into the right. I was slightly unlucky because we made a decision to drop that down to a back 3 and go, as I said, go 3 at the back there. But again, it was good to give her an opportunity to get in and get some football. Ariana, who we know had a break to get married earlier in the year. She came in and did a super job in that central midfield area. So the thing for me is that we've got a squad of 15-16 players. All of them could start every week out there. So that's a task for us as coaches and managers to sort of manage that and manage the motivation of the squad around that rotation. But today was an opportunity, and again, all of those players that came in acquitted themselves excellently.
And finally, into the second round of the Women's FA Cup, National League Premier sides come in now, so you could get a higher division side now, which you couldn't in this phase. But I imagine, particularly after the win at Oxford in the League Cup a few weeks ago, you'll be happy to take on anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I think, as I said, the FA Cup is a tournament that we want to do well in. We all want to get a good draw. We all want to get a home draw. For me, a good draw would be any of those sides in that southern level of the National League. I think it would be a great opportunity to test ourselves against more of the sides or more of the squads in that league. And I think the ladies would relish it. Many having played at that level and higher in previous seasons and with other clubs. So we're reaching the stage of the tournament where those opportunities to get some really tasty ties are coming up. So I'll be looking forward to the draw on Monday.